The European Union has urged Russia to reverse its decision to suspend a deal allowing the export of Ukrainian grain through the Black Sea. The Kremlin has ripped up the agreement on food exports, blaming Ukraine for a drone attack on the Russia fleet in occupied Crimea. Claudia Redmond has this report.
Sevastopol and the latest salvo between Ukraine and Russia. Russia says that drone attacks on the Crimean port early on Saturday were targeted against Russian vessels employed for the security of ships carrying grain to countries desperate for food. Sevastopol is strategically important to Russia. It serves as the headquarters for Russia's Black Sea Fleet and logistical hub for operations in Ukraine. Ukraine has been swift to respond, saying Russia is using the attack as a pretext to withdraw from the grain agreement.
How can Russia be among others in the G20 if it deliberately works to create famine on several continents? This is nonsense. Russia has no place in the G20.
Russia's UN envoy tweeted a statement saying Russia intended to suspend participation in the grain deal. He also alleged the attack took place with the support from the UK, something the UK's Ministry of Defence has denied. Washington, in turn, had accused Russia of weaponizing food and in so doing directly impacting nations in need. The UN grain deal struck in July was a diplomatic coup. It allows Ukraine to reopen Ukrainian Black Sea ports for grain exports. Already it's allowed nearly 9 million tons of Ukrainian grain to be exported and was due to be renewed in November. Ukraine is the world's fifth largest exporter of wheat. Many countries from Lebanon to Ethiopia are suffering from the effects of higher grain prices as a result of the war. If Russia does stop the grain flow, it will be a blow to these people and to resolving the Russia-Ukraine crisis.
Shalom. Giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and Slakia. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Brakatham. To you hopefully elect out there. And I'm just back with just going to be a real quick because, I'm on a clock or whatnot. On a plantation, dealing with this deal that Moscow has. A few days ago, they pretty much said the hell with this deal because supposedly, you had some Russian fleets get hit with some drone strikes, and long story short, Moscow's blaming the Ukraine. So with that being said, they cut this deal. Moscow said the hell with this deal, and basically, which is when you look into this deal, what this was about. Because Ukraine, they're like a lot of the world depend heavily because so Ukraine, they supply a heavy amount of certain food supply like wheat and other things to the world, and the fact that again they're not pretty much able to get these goods out is furthering the grounds for a famine or a worldwide famine, which again, because you got a lot of back and forth, and like I said, Moscow is basically blaming the Ukraine. Ukraine is basically talking shit against Moscow, and as well as the EU and the NATO. They're trying to talk, saying that basically Moscow was weaponizing the food, cutting off the more and more cutting off the food supply to the world, and just like I said, with all the back and forth, which indeed that's what's going on, because again, one of the things that the men of the Lord have been warning, dealing with the judgments that's going to be said and done out here. One of the warnings being, one of the judgments Yahweh Shema Shah is going to send out is going to come by way of a famine. You see, and this is what, if you've been paying attention ever since this crisis started back in 2020, all right. Again, the ground for a worldwide famine is being set. The stage is being set for a worldwide famine, and you see people just Hey, I'm gonna get this real quick. In the book of what is that, Ezekiel? Because you got a lot of the developing countries that depend very heavily on those supplies from the Ukraine, man. Hey, they're suffering. They're catching hell. They're going through it. You know. Trying to find this real quick. And as it's been said time in and time out, hey, you don't think it's coming here to America? Well, you just sit back and wait, because hey, we're going to get this in Ezekiel chapter 12. I'm going to start at Ezekiel 12 and verse 18. It says, because again, I mean, there's just it's just a slew of just, man, it's just one big recipe for a complete disaster, man. With everything that's going on, it's just, I mean, there's a lot going on, man. Because here it is. You got because you can expect the price of everything to go up. Everything's gonna go up. All right. You got this gas tax holiday that just ended up while everyone was celebrating this wicked Halloween. All right. Well, not knowing that October 31st, that was the last day for the gas tax holiday. So, hey, I mean, I know around here where I'm at in my area, gas is already starting to go up a few cents. I mean, like I said, this is so much to it. You got um, you got a lot of nations, because again, the food supply is being cut off. A lot of nations, a lot of countries are basically cutting off their their exports. All right, to basically look after themselves. So pretty much they can't. They're limiting what they're going to give out to look after their own people. You see. You also got, man, I mean, again, it's just so much going on, man. It's a lot to keep up with, you know. There was something else I wanted to mention, but I mentioned the gas tax holiday. More and more with if you pay attention to the Saudis, man, the Saudi Arabia, which, hey, because more and more they're doing their deals with Russia and China. All right. You see, because for those that don't know, man, why the brothers talk about Saudi Arabia, and you stress why we paid attention to Saudi Arabia so much? Well, because that's pretty much the only thing that is back in the petrodollar right now. All right. You see, and once Saudi Arabia completely cuts himself off from the dollar, well, that's it for this fiat currency, man. Is through. All right, because now even with Saudi Arabia, they're not completely cutting off, but I was just looking into this. Well, basically they're giving out less oil. All right, you see. So again, I mean, with that being said, the fact that Saudi Arabia is giving out less oil. All right. Again, because the Biden administration has been cutting into the the strategic reserves, which that's gonna pretty much cripple. That's just gonna only weaken America even more than it already is. Because the military, the military, they depend on those. Pretty much the only time if I'm not mistaken, the only time they're really supposed to go into the strategic reserves is basically for the military. In the case of some type of economic depression, which we're pretty much in one already, and the fact that they're cutting into those reserves is letting us know that we're pretty much in a economic depression. All right. I mean, again, there's just so much going on. You got the with these the railroad strikes are coming. All right. as of what was that? Back in this was just a few weeks ago. In October, I think it was October 24th. It came out that America only has 25 days left of diesel fuel. All right, and like I said, I believe that was back in October 24th, if I'm not mistaken. So hey, we only got a few days left, apparently, less than a week or so, of diesel fuel. So again, with all that being said, just expect the price of everything to go up, man. Everything's gonna go up. All right, hey, you just had it to where I think the Walmart CEO, if I'm not mistaken, came out and said, hey, on Thanksgiving they're not going to be closed because, excuse me, they're going to be closed because it's just, you know, they've had to recall a lot of, you know, their products, and you know, it's, I mean, like I said, it's just one if you're paying attention, like the scripture say, watching and praying, hey, it's just it's just a big recipe for disaster, man. And this thing is at the point of spilling over. All right, and this is, like I said, just another one of those things. You know, Moscow basically going back on this deal. It's just going to further a famine. And again, you know, very soon we can expect the price of everything to go up. Because, like I said, you know, wheat and you know, certain products, wheat, I believe, what was it? Certain grains and stuff like that, which pretty much that's a major consumer. You know, when it comes to Americans and what they eat, that's a major part of their diet. You know, the wheat and, you know, the soy and stuff like that. Well, because that's pretty much in everything that we eat. You see, so the fact that, you know, that's being there's a chokehold being put on that. Well, hey, just again, man, just expect the price of everything to go up. Everything's gonna go up, man. You know, everything's gonna go up very soon, here in a hot second. You see, and like I said, hey, you know, while these, you know, people looking at us crazy, and you know, well, hey, pretty soon we're gonna be looking at you people stupid, because that's why I'm gonna read this in Ezekiel 12, and I'm gonna start at verse 18. It says, "Son of man, eat thy bread with quaking, and drink thy water with trembling and with carefulness, because hey, food rationings, all right." You know, hell, it's been coming out about the food banks have been, you know, there's been a strain. More and more people are depending on these food banks, which the food banks, they're catching hell because, you know, hey, there's not enough to go out to everyone. There's not enough mouths of food to feed everyone. More and more people are depending on debt just to, you know, more and more people are maxing out on credit cards just to, you know, buy basic necessities, man. Is, you know, and hey, you know, because it's getting tough out here. You know, it's definitely getting for real out here, man. You know, hey, but you know, because you know, the fact that we've been saying this is going to happen through the Spirit of the Lord, man. We've been prophesying these things are going to happen. Well, hey, it's happening, because I know a lot of us are definitely feeling the squeeze, man. We're feeling the punch, but hey, speaking to myself, man, first and foremost, hey, now's not the time to bitch up. You know, you've been talking about it. Well, hey, you've been talking that talk. Well, hey, we're getting ready to walk that walk, man, because it's getting tough, and it's only going to get tougher. You know. But it says, because hey, you know, again, the fact that a lot of these Americans, they're pretty much spoiled brats, man. You know, they take these things for granted. All right, everything that these Americans, you know, they have so free access to, you know, they take these things for granted. Well, the time's going to come where, hey, the things that are taken for granted, hey, is going to become a luxury. You know, packets of ketchup is going to be a luxury in that day, believe it or not. You know. But believe it or not, a pack of ketchup, one pack of ketchup is going to be a luxury in that day, because food is going to be so scarce. It's going to be so, you know, because I did a video some months ago going into basically what a famine is, because, you know, dealing with a famine is not necessarily going to be a complete, you know, it's just not going to be no food out. It's just going to be a very limited amount of food. Is going to be a scarcity of food. You see, because hey, in that day, you're going to have the scriptures going to how the elect are going to be eaten, man. You see, and as a matter of fact, because you got, you know, the elites on the left hand. All right, they're storing up food in their bunkers, right? You know, But hey, the Lord's going to provide a way. He's going to make a way for his elect, the elites on the right hand. All right. You know, his elect are going to eat. You see, so it's not going to be a thing of just a complete, you know, there's just not absolutely no food out here. No, it's just going to be not readily accessible as it is right now. So like I said, hey, the things that people take for granted right now, hey, and that day, like I said, a pack of ketchup is going to be a luxury. All right, it's going to be a luxury, man. You see, hey, people are used to the, you know, fine steaks and dinners or whatnot. Well, hey, shoot, very soon, hey, that's gonna, hey, people are gonna have to start getting used to eating noodles, man, ramen noodles, and you know, 2 slices of bread and ramen noodles, man. That's gonna be a 5-star dinner, you know, because it's gonna get bad, man. You know, it's gonna get bad. But when you read on in verse 19, it says, "And say unto the people of the land, Thus saith the Lord power of the inhabitants of Jerusalem and of the land of Israel, they shall eat their bread with carefulness and drink their water with astonishment." So you see, because like I said, people are looking at us crazy, like, hey, y'all talk about famine, you know, because these people, they just, you know, they just can't see America going down, man. This is not America, you know, because this is the greatest empire to, you know, the greatest empire to rule, you know. Sort of, you know, when we talk about these things, how the Lord's going to hit this place from all angles, you know, famine being one of them, hey, that's just something that's hard for these people to fathom. They just can't see it. Well, in that day, when they're eating their bread with carefulness and drinking their water with astonishment, like, damn, those those niggas were right, you know. when they eating whatever, man. Whatever they can find out here, because like I said, it's going to be a luxury. What's taken for granted is going to be a luxury in that day. So when they're eating whatever they can find, in astonishment, like, man, I can't believe what those guys were talking, what those guys were saying. They were right, you know. But it says that her land may be desolate from all that is therein, because of the violence of all them that dwell therein. So you see, man, they're going to be eating their bread and drinking their water with astonishment, like, damn, those niggas were right. Well, like the scripture say, man, hey, in that day then shall they know a prophet had been among them. You see? And hey, you know, the biggest I told you so moment in history is right around the corner for the men of the Lord, man. Because like I said, these people looking at us crazy, looking at us like we're stupid. Well, hey, we're going to be looking at y'all like y'all crazy. Lord, what will be of that number, man? We're looking at y'all like y'all stupid. Y'all going to be the ones that are going to be in astonishment, you know? But again, you know, this is what we can expect in the very near future. All right, with this, you know, grain deal. Moscow saying to hell with this grain deal. You know, hey, that's just gonna further a famine. Again, expect the price of everything to go up. All right, you know, like I mentioned with the diesel shortages coming. You know, in a few days, railroad strikes. Hey, just expect the price of everything to skyrocket, man. And hey, it's gonna be crazy. You know, it's gonna get crazy out here. But nevertheless, hopefully this is edifying. Giving all praise to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Yahweh by Shem Yahushai Barakatham to you hopefully elect. Lord willing, until next time, Shalom.